Yeah, or those little missile things that have the
Bottle
wire
rockets.
on them, the rockets.
Bottle
Well, under A and C, it defines it. So it says to discharge a firearm, revolver, pistol, shotgun, or rifle of any description, which may be used for the explosion of cartridges and which shall cause a bullet or projectile. So the projectile would have to be fired from a firearm, revolver, pistol, shotgun, or rifle. And then under C, it would have to be discharged from an air gun or air pistol, BB gun or pistol, or air rifle or pistol, whether gas-operated or spring gun.
Or any instrument, toy, or
Yeah,
weapon, even
that's
a
a little
toy.
too much.
Pea shooter, I mean, even a toy, you can get little
I mean,
toys that
yeah.
shoot little darts out. But,
C really limits kids to do anything.
It doesn't limit kids to do anything. It limits them on whose property they're allowed to do it on. So they can't, you're preventing kids by law, by ordinance, to prevent them from repeatedly firing, these Nerf guns or pea shooters or the airsoft guns into other people's property who don't want them there. And that's what it does.
But it's okay if they do it in their own yard?
Absolutely, yeah. It says right here, it's unlawful to do that unless it is done on private property and the projectiles from the instrument do not go beyond the property line of that private property. So as long as they're on their private property, it's perfectly fine. What you can't have is a 15-year-old walking down the street with an airsoft gun shooting plastic BBs at your house, because you're going to want us to do something about it, and this allows us many options to do something about that. Immediate. They could, as long as all the neighbors are wanting those kids on the properties.
Yeah, I mean, any of this stuff is discretion-based, folks. I mean, I really think that you have to write these for the worst-case scenario of some kid 20 feet away from your window with a BB gun shooting at your house. And so in that case, maybe you want to be able to charge the parent with a misdemeanor. But and maybe this is the former prosecutor in me talking, I mean, I think you guys got to trust your local law enforcement to do the right thing. And I don't think if 6-year-olds are having a Nerf gun fight in their backyard, that anybody's going to even be thinking about this ordinance. But, I mean, this is your ballywag to argue, not mine, my friend. But, I mean,
I agree.
well, you could have some elderly people, I mean, you get kind of cranky. I'm elderly,
You
but
could.
I'm not cranky, but.
you could. You're right, you're right.
But like the
Yeah.
BB guns, now when you start getting damage, I think that's when people get more apt to call the police.
I mean, we could put exclusions on here for Nerf guns or whatnot. I will defer to Matt on that.
Oh, I don't know, I think it's okay. I just was questioning the misdemeanor for the parent, if, they're totally innocent.
The reason that's in there is to hold parents responsible for their kids if it's a repeat offender that, if this would happen, we'll grab that kid if he's doing something that's causing damage or something, we'll find the parent and say, look, this kid's doing that. Now, if the parent says, well, I don't care,
Oh, yeah.
then this can come into play to fix the problem, because you as a resident, I can't come back and say, oh, well, the law won't let me do anything. This gives us an opportunity, if the parent does not take responsibility, to either charge the parent or, in the case of paragraph D, to take that gun away, which solves a problem like that. So it gives PD many options other than arrest.
And Matt, wouldn't you really say under D is the most likely scenario? Because most officers aren't going to want to deal with the paperwork of dealing with a juvenile, so they're just going to confiscate the thing.
Absolutely. And they can, it's their decision to return it to the parents the next day or destroy it.
I had one other question I forgot
Go
to
ahead.
ask you, I'm sorry. Is there anything in here to talk about self-defense? So say somebody breaks into your house and you have a gun and you use that gun. Right now, the way that it's worded in A,
You could discharge a
technically
firearm.
you can't discharge it. Do we need to put some type of exclusion, like if there is a self-defense, you can shoot it on your own property, or like how does that work with?
Yeah, so this doesn't override the Castle Doctrine, you know, so someone would still be able to defend their property. But, and I think the way that Jack had mentioned, if we even start to try to address that, we only kind of muddy the waters.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're allowed to defend yourself, but the problem is, when you do that, I mean, from what I've read, is that a lot of times you're still gonna get sued by the family.
Get sued for anything.
Yeah, I mean, it just, so when you pull that trigger, you better make darn sure that you have to.
Yeah.
Do it unless you have to.
And then to address what you were saying too, Vicki, about the fireworks and projectiles that way, I think maybe we address that with a separate ordinance, but I think it'd be best not to put it into this one.
I just
'Cause it-
think that the police, sometimes their hands are tied, and,
Yeah.
I mean, and they're pretty good with the kids. I mean, they want the kids to have a good time, and they'll go out and they'll tell the kids, and then as soon as the police are gone, they sneak back out
And they- Yeah,
You know,
and
I
that's
see it
still
in my
going to happen,
neighborhood, I mean-
you know. The police already are pretty busy when
Yeah,
it comes
exactly.
around 4th of July, you know, I should say, like the month before and the month after.
Yeah, I
But-
think we still have some going on now.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, I think putting that in an ordinance is only going to make people more upset that we're not doing something.
Well, then I'm good with the ordinance. So are there any objections to the ordinance at all? So it's going to be our recommendation that we have first reading? Okay.
Okay, thank you, Vicki. All right, that's the last thing on the agenda. Are there any other items that we would like to discuss this evening? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Mrs. Kyle, second by Mrs. Fetty. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Meeting adjourned.